Hello, hello, hello. Hello again. Saturday, 2022, Boston, Massachusetts, 500 Boylston Street, my favorite spot. Boy, I've been pretty busy doing broadcasts today. This may be my third or fourth. I've been on and off on the phone giving my broadcast. And I showed some of the work to three of my colleagues today. And they seem to be very impressed with the work that was being done. I'll be very slow in my presentation that people are passing, and as soon as the coast is clear, I'll begin to discuss the issue that I would like to pursue today and probably forever. That issue is my corporation, Musal Corner Consulting USA. This corporation would be concerned with art and entertainment. This corporation would be concerned with integrating the arts and entertainment internationally, specifically Africa and America. I must confess, this is ulterior motive. There is ulterior motive. Let's talk about what motivated, what caused this to come to mind to me and to pursue it. Well, one, watching the news. Two, living in different areas of the world at different times. Okay, I lived in Africa for the last 10 years. I've been in the U.S. just a few months. I lived in Kenya and Uganda. I've traveled through Uganda and Rwanda. And previously, when I was very young, I studied in Nigeria. We have a war that's coming. And I'm totally convinced, as I study the world events and the mood of the people, I'm totally convinced that we're on the verge of a nuclear war. That is one of my preoccupations, besides other preoccupations. And me, being the person I am, and endowed by God with such intelligence, and endowed by God with so much experience, I took it upon myself to warn, to try to protect the people of my homeland. I'm just like any other black American. We know the history. We know the history. We black Americans, we fight for this country, we fuss for this country, and we know the history. And it's a parallel. The parallel is, on one side, we're getting our asses kicked in America. And on the other side, we are, in many cases, the most patriotic Americans. A war is coming. And America's not prepared. I've submitted, or I am submitting, a strategy that may delay a serious catastrophe, or even prevent a serious catastrophe. That catastrophe is a nuclear attack on American soil. When the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan over 50 years ago, I'm sure that those Japanese, and there were hundreds of thousands of them, they weren't prepared. All they know is that one minute they were here and the next they were not. And the thing is, 2 atomic bombs were dropped on the country of Japan by the United States of America, where hundreds of thousands of Japanese people died. At that time, when those atomic bombs were dropped, the United States of America was the only country with such power. That was over 60. That was over 7. I'm 72. That's almost over 100 years ago. Not 100, but close to it. So in the 1940s, America was the only country in the world with that kind of power. So many decades later, there are several countries in the world who have that same power that America had many, many decades ago. And I'm convinced from what I hear in the news and what I hear on the websites and what I hear in YouTube, in my just plain knowledge of history, I'm convinced thoroughly that we're on the verge of receiving atomic bombs on American soil. But it can be delayed and it can be preventable. But it cannot be delayed and preventable when your policy makers are not too much concerned about the population as a whole. Because if there were concern about the population as a whole, the people of America, the citizens of America, Americans wouldn't be sleeping in the street. Americans wouldn't be drugged up, looking like zombies. Americans wouldn't be divided where you have the white supremacists on the other and the black nationalists on the other. America has to do something. And America needs to do something quickly. I think that was a lovely speech. So, before I go further in this broadcast, I would like to check out and take a look at myself and see how did I look. If I look well, I'll continue.